Well, everyone, it's time for us to go ahead and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy A14 and compare it against the iPhone 11 and see which specific phone you should go and pick up. Now, I will leave some phones linked down in the description. You can go and get them from there. You can help support the channel at the same time. But I will definitely tell you between these two phones, it's very interesting because both these phones are, the iPhone 11 came out in 2019, and on the front of the iPhone 11, we basically have a 6.1-inch Retina IPS panel. Now, I've always felt like the panel on the iPhone 11 was good, it's not horrible, but these phones actually share some similarity and some resemblance on the front display. You are actually getting IPS, or you're getting LCD panels technically on both, but I will say the iPhone 11's probably looks better. It is a 60 Hz panel, so keep that in mind. You have the notch up top, and although it definitely may not look as modern, maybe is the right word, as the Galaxy A14, it's still a better display in my opinion on the iPhone 11 than on the Galaxy A14, but this is like a 3 or 4-year-old phone as of this point, so you have to kind of remember that. With the Galaxy A14, this is a brand new budget phone from Samsung. So that is a big thing to keep in mind. This is not supposed to be competing with 2019 kind of mid-tier, more flagshipy type of device. This is a budget phone. This is like a $200 phone, and I think on Amazon they're actually less than $200 right now, which is insane. And this phone just came out. Now we are getting a Infinity V display, I think that's what Samsung used to call it, and a little bit of bezel at the top as well as the Infinity V display. You also have a little bit of bezel at the bottom, and definitely doesn't look as good as I would say with the iPhone 11, but you are getting a bigger panel here. So this one is 6.6 inches, but you're also getting a 90 Hz panel, which is very interesting. You're getting a higher refresh rate on the Galaxy A14 than on the iPhone 11. I will still say the iPhone 11 is still smooth, but that is a very, very interesting thing there. Now from the rest of the phone, you're getting a pretty thick bezel, or thickness between both of them, if that's the best way to kind of put it. As you can see, both of them are pretty much the same. You are actually getting kind of like this plastic frame on the Galaxy A14, so it definitely doesn't feel as premium as the aluminum frame on the iPhone 11. But you can kind of get a glimpse of how much thicker the Galaxy A14 is, but also how much longer of a phone the A14 is. And the iPhone 11 was actually a pretty big phone when it first came out. USB-C and headphone jack on the bottom of the Galaxy A14, lightning port on the bottom of the iPhone 11, and on the back we have this kind of interesting texture. So just remember that the Galaxy A14 is a $200 phone, or less than that. The iPhone 11 is kind of like I guess you could say it's like a $300 phone now, but it was $700 when it first came out in 2019. Dual camera setup on the iPhone 11, triple camera setup on the Galaxy A14, glass back on the iPhone 11, which feels very premium. The Galaxy A14 has this like plastic texture to it. It's very interesting with the Galaxy A14's approach. So definitely when it kind of comes down to both these phones, you are definitely going to be getting, I guess, a more premium phone for sure, in my opinion, on the iPhone 11 than on the Samsung Galaxy A14. It could have been way worse though. Like I feel like the A14 did some, brought some really cool stuff to the table, but do keep in mind the iPhone 11 definitely I think is the better one on the outside. Now, in terms of software and longevity, I still think to this day, even though the iPhone 11 is approaching 4 years old this year, this phone is definitely probably going to outlast the Galaxy A14. So we're going to have to kind of see. If it doesn't outlast it, it's probably going to last as long as it. I'd probably say this phone's going to be getting another 2 to 3 years of versions of software inside of it. So I think that's going to be a really cool thing. The iPhone 11 ends up lasting that long. The Galaxy A14, like I said, this phone just came out. It's probably going to be getting like 2 versions of software. I don't know if it's including the one it just got, so I guess it's just one of those things we'll have to kind of wait and see. I hope this phone lasts a long time though. I think the Galaxy A series of devices are really, really nice, but I'm going to be very curious to see what Samsung ends up doing and seeing how long this phone ends up lasting for the most part. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there too. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both these phones. The Samsung Galaxy A14 has that Exynos 1330 chipset inside of it, with 4 gigs of RAM on the base model, 6 gigs of RAM on the mid-tier model, and 8 gigs of RAM on the top-tier model. This one has 4 gigabytes of RAM. The iPhone 11 has that Apple A13 body chip inside of it with 4 gigs of RAM. So let's go and see which one is the faster one between both of these. Okay, there we go. All the apps are cleared out in the background except for these ones, so let's close them out. And we are at a weird angle, so hopefully it looks good over the camera. Let's get into it. Phone calls, 3, 2, 1. Okay, iPhone 11 definitely faster there. Already off to a great start. Let's go and get into their app stores. 3, 2, 1. Oh, I totally messed that one up. So I'll go and open it up on both of them. Actually, we'll just go and glitch that one out. We'll just go and load it up in the background anyway. 3, 2, 1. So I don't really think there would have been a crazy big difference here, but I kind of messed that one up anyway. So scrolling through with the scrolling speeds, as you can see, I think when I go slow, there's not a big difference, but when I go fast, it definitely seems like it's smoother on the iPhone 11, but it seems like it's faster on the Galaxy A14. So definitely a smoother experience, but a faster one on the Galaxy A14, at least when I was scrolling through. Now we have a bunch of these third-party applications that we can pretty much just get into it. So let me just kind of load them up. Let's do Snake versus Blocks, 3, 2, 1. And pretty much identically the same thing. Let's go and get into a game. Let's see how slow it is. And they're both actually doing pretty good. So I was surprised with the Galaxy A14 for doing as smooth as it kind of did right there. Let's do Temple Run 1, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I think the Galaxy A14 may actually be the faster one here as well. And I guess the Galaxy A14 did get into that one faster than the iPhone 11. That is a very, very interesting thing. I was not expecting that. Let's go and get into stack. 3, 2, 1. And I guess the Galaxy A14 did get into the ad faster than the iPhone 11. So that's kind of another really, really interesting thing there. Let's go and get into, I guess I have Subway Surfers. Okay, there we go. 3, 2, 1. Hopefully I don't need to update these applications. I guess we'll see. Okay, that was very interesting. I thought the Galaxy A14 was going to win, but it looks like the iPhone 11 actually won that. Very interesting stuff. Let's go ahead and kind of claim whatever these things are, and let's go and get into an actual game. Let's go and hop out of here. 3, 2, 1. Let's see if there's any glitches. I think both of them are going to do fairly well. Yeah, they both kind of did the same thing, so there's not really that big of a difference here. Hopping out of this one, let's go and do one more application. We can try something like Facebook or like TikTok. Let's just go and do Temple Run 2, which I don't even have here. But I mean, ultimately what I will definitely tell you is that I think the iPhone 11 would be probably the better performing phone, but I'm actually surprised how good of a job the Galaxy A14 just did. Like, the Galaxy A14 did a surprisingly good job today. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. Now in the camera department, as I mentioned, the Galaxy A14 has this triple camera setup, but it's not quite. I mean, it's a 50 megapixel, wide angle lens, 2 megapixel macro lens, and then a 2 megapixel depth lens. So definitely it's not anything crazy. iPhone 11 has a dual camera setup, a wide and ultra wide camera, lower megapixel count, but it's still a very good camera for sure. The Galaxy A14, I mean, you're getting a cool couple features built in. Actually, the Galaxy A14's camera is fairly powerful. It has a lot of features built in for how budget this phone is, but you're only getting that one wide angle lens. You are getting 10x zoom, which is really nice, but you're not getting the ultra wide sensor, which is really nice to have. Also, it's just video and then more, like that's kind of all. But there's still more features I would kind of argue on the Galaxy A14 than on the iPhone 11, which is very surprising. So there's promo, there's pro video, there's a lot of cool stuff here, but I definitely would say that the iPhone 11 camera is going to be giving you better quality for sure. Like, the iPhone 11 camera is very good. I've used this camera quite a bit the last few years, and it's given me a pretty good experience. You're getting that 0.5x zoom too, so very good camera. You have portrait mode, video mode, all this good stuff, and I would definitely tell you this is a very, very good camera as well. So to kind of sum up this whole entire video, what I'd probably tell you is I definitely do think the iPhone 11 is probably the better phone when it comes down to it. I think this is a very, very good phone, and I, am a huge fan of this specific device. With the Samsung Galaxy A14, I think this is actually a pretty decent $200 phone if that's your budget and you have to go a brand new phone. But I think you would be better off if you get a used phone in the used market, like a Galaxy S20. Those are probably got down to around this price tag. So I'd probably recommend buying that phone over these ones, but that kind of covers up the specific comparison. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.